Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We've got Dr. Thomas Wilson Ikubese, who is a member of the National Conscience Party. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to look at, let's look at it's a lot really going on in the country beyond the budget presentation. It's got to do with functionality of the country. Wherever you turn, you see one report or the other. When you think you're getting a solution from one angle, another problem jumps out at you. And so it's the state of the country today in terms of how we're progressing, what we're doing, and we electorate. We'll come to that part as well. But from your perspective, from what you've seen from a distance, are we headed in the right direction?
Thank you, Chamberlain. I'm very saddened sitting down here because basically we don't appear like a nation of serious people. Why I'm saying this is because each time we are moving, we move one step forward and then we move 2 steps backward, which basically is not taking us anywhere as a people. So the basic problem we have in Nigeria is on 2 prongs. 1, insincere leadership, and complacent followership. We have a group of leaders over the years since we attained independence that have not taken the Nigerian people as priority to them. And we also have a people that are always following the leaders no matter what they do, not knowing where to draw the line. Let me quickly say this. When you are having an election, campaign and all of that, fine. You support the party, even if you're not a member of a party, because the party brings the candidate into beer. But the moment that party, the candidate is declared as the winner and he's sworn in, your allegiance should be to the Nigerian nation, not to that individual, not to the party. But we have a situation in this country where people support that person, that party, and no matter what he does, they will continue to give him that support, believing that I voted him in, so he can never do wrong. And that's why I said we have a problem of non-altruistic leadership. Leaders will believe that you go in there to amass wealth. Leadership should be for service, not for the accumulation of wealth.
What do you think about that mantra where they say a country deserves the leaders they get because the leaders come from the people? It's up to the people to hold them accountable or not. It's up to the people to stir them and let them know what the people want. Does that work for you?
Absolutely, it works. The people deserve the kind of leaders they get. And that's why we are saying that come 2019, youth should arise and do something different. It's not true that everybody in the PDP is a thief. It's not true that everybody in the APC is a liar. There are still people who are credible across party lines. You too have ideas. They should all come together and let's rescue this nation beyond party lines. If, for instance, I say, Chamberlain, we're going to bring a European to come and be the president of Nigeria for 4 years, and in those 4 years, there'll be constant power supply, all the roads will be tarred, there'll be security, everything will work. Would you be bothered that it's a white man that is coming to be the president? Certainly not.
How do we attain true federalism in all of these?
True federalism, it's supposed to be what we are practicing, but that's not what we are practicing. What we are practicing is a far deviation. We copied from America, but we are pasting so poorly. There's nothing that stops us from evolving our own form of democracy. You cannot say you have a federalism where the states will go to Abuja each month, cap in hands. I just came back from a tour of some northern state, and what I saw amazed me. Large expanse of lands. You'll be looking as if you are in the air, looking at sky on end, and they are just lying there fallow. For goodness sake, each state should be able to control its resources. There is no state that does not have resources. No state.
Do you think they're not controlling their resources to a good extent right now, especially when you mention the vast land that you see up north?
Yes.
Do you think the state governors do not have that capacity to control those lands? Or are they controlling it but unable to translate that into meaningful internal generated revenue for their states?
The first thing is giving the state the capacity to control their resources. That's one. For instance, if you have resources in your state, you cannot mine it. It's the property of the federal government. They mine it and pay some portion to you. It shouldn't be that way. Each state should control their resources and pay tax to the center. The center should be weak. The state as a federating unit should be strong. When we do that, we have a nation that works. Unlike what we have, that each state goes cap in hand to Abuja every month and begins to get allocation. Like I did say, Nigeria can feed the whole of Africa. With the landscape that we have, agriculture alone is enough to transform the face of this nation. But our leaders are, I don't know. I don't know how we reason. I don't know how we think. And that's why we must come together and make a difference, make a change, have a breakaway from the status quo, irrespective of party line, come 2019.
Now, let me look at it from this perspective, the professionals.
Yes.
I don't know, some argue that we don't have any middle class anymore, but that's up to them to decide how they want to argue that. But do you think that the way it's presently constituted, we will have, or the professionals or young people are encouraged, those who feel they have something to contribute, are they really encouraged to get into the kitchen and, to come into politics and see what they could do?
Well, talking about encouragement of young people to come into politics, the way we have played our politics over the years is such that it's heavily monetized. You want to go into politics, you'll be expecting to pay a humongous sum of money to collect forms to run. You know, in PDP, I think it's 20.9 million, APC 20 million.
For which one, presidential?
Presidential. Okay, I think it's been reviewed downward now by the amendment of the electoral, but I still feel that's high. 10 million is still high.
For a presidential ticket?
It is still high, Chamberlain. That's high. It should be something affordable to every Nigerian. You see, what we should encourage is bringing our best brains to the fore. It should not be a case of you having money before you can go in. I want to go into politics, I have to sell my land, sell my house, sell my car. If I get in there, what am I going to do? The first thing is to recoup the investment that I have made and even make profit on it. So we must desensitize money politics, and that's very important. That's why we find it that most youths are finding it difficult to go in. That's why I'm saying that 2019, we should all come together. It's a youth revolution.
Is the policy against, is skewed against the younger people coming into politics?
If you are saying that you need to have 20.9 million to pick a presidential ticket, it's skewed against them, certainly. If you are now saying that you reduce the Electoral Act, you now have 10 million instead of 20.9, it's still skewed against them. The emphasis should be for intellectualism. It should be for service. And that's why you say, go to the house of most politicians. You find people queue, they line up every morning. What are they telling you? We know you're going there to steal. You're going there to chop your own money. Give us our own share of the money you're going to chop. Because they believe that if you're going into governance, you're not going to serve. And what have we actually seen over the years? Have we seen service? This is a nation that should be the pride of Africa, but we've become a global embarrassment. And that's why we must all look inward and change the narrative.